In the bustling city of Chicago, where the streets are always alive with the hum of traffic and the chatter of pedestrians, 27-year-old Mia Rodriguez was just trying to get by. A freelance graphic designer with a passion for photography, Mia lived a modest life, juggling her creative projects with the everyday challenges of city living. Her car, a beat-up but reliable 2008 Honda Civic, was her lifeline. It got her to client meetings, photo shoots, and the occasional weekend getaway. But one fateful afternoon, her trusty Civic would become the center of a story that would leave the entire city talking. It all started when Mia noticed her car making a strange rattling noise. She wasn't a car expert, but she knew enough to realize something wasn't right. After a quick search online, she found a nearby auto repair shop with glowing reviews and reasonable prices. The shop, called Quick Fix Auto, was run by a man named Greg, who seemed friendly and knowledgeable over the phone. Mia drove to the shop and explained the issue to Greg. He listened intently, then took the car for a quick test drive. When he returned, his face was serious. "I hate to be the bearer of bad news," Greg said, shaking his head. "But your transmission is on its last legs. If you don't get it fixed soon, you're looking at a complete breakdown." Mia's heart sank. "How much will it cost to fix?" Greg hesitated, then said, "It's not cheap. You're looking at around $3,500 for a full replacement." Mia felt a lump form in her throat. $3,500 was more than she could afford, but she couldn't risk her car breaking down. Reluctantly, she agreed to the repair and handed over her keys. Over the next few days, Mia borrowed her friend's car to get around. When Greg called to say her car was ready, she rushed to the shop, eager to have her Civic back. But as she drove home, she noticed the rattling noise was still there. In fact, it seemed worse. Confused and frustrated, Mia took her car to a different mechanic for a second opinion. The new mechanic, a woman named Sarah, listened to Mia's story and immediately grew suspicious. "Let me take a look," Sarah said. After a thorough inspection, Sarah called Mia over. "I don't know what that guy told you, but your transmission is perfectly fine. The noise you're hearing is from a loose heat shield. It's a $50 fix, max." Mia's jaw dropped. "Are you serious?" Sarah nodded. "I'm afraid you've been scammed." Mia felt a surge of anger. She had trusted Greg, and he had taken advantage of her. But instead of letting her frustration consume her, Mia decided to take matters into her own hands. The next day, Mia returned to Quick Fix Auto, her car still rattling. Greg greeted her with a smile. "Back so soon? Everything okay?" Mia forced a smile. "Actually, no. The noise is still there. Can you take another look?" Greg's smile faltered, but he agreed. As he took the car for another test drive, Mia discreetly placed her phone on the counter, recording the conversation. When Greg returned, he repeated his earlier diagnosis. "It's definitely the transmission. I can take another look, but it'll cost extra." Mia nodded, pretending to consider his offer. "Okay, let me think about it." As she left the shop, Mia knew she had the evidence she needed, but she wasn't done yet. Over the next few weeks, Mia launched a full-scale investigation into Greg's business. She discovered that he had a history of overcharging customers and performing unnecessary repairs. She also found several online reviews from people who had similar experiences but were too intimidated to speak out. Mia decided to take her findings public. She created a website called Expose Quick Fix Auto, where she shared her story, the recording of her conversation with Greg, and the evidence she had gathered. She also reached out to local news outlets who were eager to cover the story. Within days, the story went viral. Greg's shop was flooded with angry calls and negative reviews. The Better Business Bureau launched an investigation, and Greg was forced to shut down his business. But Mia didn't stop there. She used her platform to advocate for consumer rights, sharing tips on how to avoid being scammed by mechanics. She even started a nonprofit organization called Honest Auto, which connected car owners with trustworthy, vetted mechanics. Greg, meanwhile, was left scrambling to salvage his reputation. He tried to apologize, but it was too late. His business was ruined, and he was facing legal action from several former customers. Mia's story became a rallying cry for consumers everywhere. She was invited to speak at conferences, appeared on national TV, and even wrote a book about her experience. But for Mia, the most rewarding part was knowing she had made a difference. To this day, Mia continues to fight for transparency and fairness in the auto repair industry. And as for her trusty Honda Civic, it's still running strong thanks to Sarah's $5. If you found this story touching and inspiring, please like the video, share it with others, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for following along, and we'll see you next time for more uplifting tales.